Hey there, we are on to red flag number 4 from my Burnout Buster book, which is all about discovering your red flags and what to do about them. So see if today's red flag is one that rings bells for you, and I'll have a little story that goes with this one. So it's about the fear of letting other people down, about being a disappointment. It's one of my absolute worst things. I have worked on it a lot, but I know that I still fear disappointing people. And sometimes I do too much as a result of that. So it's a possible route to burnout and a big red flag. So let me read you this section of the book. If you keep pushing yourself to do more than you're able to, more than you've got the resources for, because you're afraid of letting people down, guess what happens? If your energy, time and enthusiasm are out of balance, then you'll end up letting them down more often. You'll find yourself saying yes when you should have said no, and then cancelling at the last minute or becoming ill or in whatever way because you can't fit it all in, or you just got ill from being overcommitted. So for me, this is epitomised by the disappointment I hear in my mum's voice when she uses my full name, Pamela. So when I had my hair cut too short or I got a speeding ticket, my mum kind of, oh, Pamela. And there's something about that. It's like a stone in my belly. It's just the worst feeling of disappointing my mum. So you could drive yourself crazy trying to avoid feelings like that feeling of having let somebody down. But you'll drive yourself crazy trying to be all things to all people and never disappoint them. It's really impossible. We are always at some point going to disappoint somebody. That's always going to happen. A counsellor once described it to me like we stand by somebody and it's as if there's, you're on a beach and there's a massive hole and it belongs to the other person, and you're there shoveling and shoveling trying to fill in this hole to make them feel better, and they're standing there going, well, I don't know what to do. You wear yourself out, the hole never gets filled, it's not your hole to fill, and we're constantly wearing ourselves out as a result of that. So sometimes you've got to put the shovel down, and it's okay not to be a superhero, even though you are a superhero, and because that way burnout lies. So here's a real story for you. Ian, who's a fabulous national sales manager, talked to me about his burnout story, and it's close to my heart because aside from being a great customer to work for, he's also become a friend. And with increasing sales targets in the midst of a declining economy, Ian realised with the value of hindsight that he'd continually blamed himself for the company not hitting targets. Rather than have people think less of him, which was what he was worried about, he worked even harder, worked longer days and spent more time away from home. He was firefighting for all he was worth, but still only standing still in terms of results. His partner could see the cracks appearing in his health and well-being, but her subtle hints that he needed a holiday didn't register as an urgent necessity. He's in fight or flight mode, he's in high alert, and sales is the only thing that's going to scratch that itch, as it were. Even his boss told him that he needed a holiday, and for him the only urgency was to improve sales. And anyway, it would take him a week to unwind, so there was no point taking a week off. Ian remembers, I couldn't have relaxed on holiday anyway, so there was no point. You think you're invincible. It's as if just because you got through yesterday, that means you can do tomorrow as well. And they were all long days. There was always something to finish off, no matter what time of night it was. Problem solving took over my mind. I was completely occupied by the need to sort everything out. It became more important than eating, sleeping, resting, more important than anything. Now, the good news is that Ian has now completely sorted all of this out. He looks after his health really well. It took him a while to recover because he had some serious physical illnesses as a result of his burnout. And he changed his work role, and now he's looking forward to a much brighter future. Thank goodness, because he's a precious soul in this world, and we need him to be okay. So the Burnout Buster, again, is under the C for compassion from my care model, and it goes like this. Notice what's driving you and check if it's like an old audio tape playing in your head saying you've got to do more, don't disappoint anybody at all costs. What's that tape? What's driving you? Is it useful? Is it encouraging? You can choose what goes on in your own head. Make a mental note of the things that you know that you're good at and your qualities and the characteristics that people value about you. Start noticing what you are bringing to the world rather than keeping on pushing. If you have good intentions, there will still be times when we let people down. It's unavoidable. If you can avoid that, great. But if you can't, do the best you can for a plan B, and the rest is down to the other person. They have to find a way to reset their expectations rather than you wearing yourself out. So make a proper judgment of something that I like to do where I put my hand on my heart and my hand on my belly. Do you know there's lots and lots of brain cells in your digestive system, so it's no wonder we have gut instincts. So I put one hand on my heart, one on my belly, and I go, what's the right thing right now? And just check in with yourself whether it's the right thing to keep on pushing or to do something about it. So make a proper judgment of what's the right thing right now, rather than always basing your decisions on your good intentions. So you might want to say yes. It might feel like the right thing to say yes, but actually, have you got the resources for it? It's really important to check in with your own reality. You want to do the kind or helpful thing, but you can do that, you can want to do that and still say no, and you are still a good person. Good people, nice people, helpful people, wonderful people still say no sometimes because it's just the right thing. So be kind in your mind and remind yourself that you're a person with good intentions even when you're not able to help someone. So that's our number 4 red flag. If you recognise it, feel free to make a comment below, and let's chat about your Burnout Buster requirements. And until number 5, bye for now.